So my first keyword that I would like to bring into the conversation is perseverance. It actually matches a lot of the things that have already been said about the slow struggles. This is a friend of mine working at an Indonesian human rights group that takes care of cases that, range from being as old as 40 years to 20, to 10, to 7. And basically all of these cases are legally stuck, and the group is still persevering. For 13 years they have existed. They're trying to fight for justice. And basically the question is, how long can they keep on doing this? Less and less people are with them in this cause. And a lot of the victims of violations committed are dying, or they're getting kind of fed up with, spending their whole life trying to persevere. So what's the problem? Well, I think one thing is that it's so far removed from them. So instead, it's about the personal, I think. So last week I went to visit my grandmother, who's in an elderly home, and she's in a terrible state. I was really upset about it. She was wearing a diaper. I don't think she's been bathed for a long time. And it really made me angry about the state of our nation, about the state of the health system, the way that in Holland we treat the elderly. And actually, I wanted to go out and do something, protest. I actually blogged because I was so pissed off about it. And so I think that it's that link. It's the personal, it's the emotional, which will make us move. Next slide. I've done a lot of work in monitoring and evaluation, which is always focused on outputs and outcomes, terms that you probably all know. And instead, I would like to say, can we focus on the experience? Can we see if we can find the value there, or maybe measure it? So the experience of being in a movement, the experience of being there at Tahrir Square or at Occupy. What does that do to a person? What does it do to you to be there in that movement, and to ask yourself the question here in Indonesian: what do I want to do before I die? What are the things that I find important? And I hope that we can sort of find the tools to measure that more, or to bring this term more into the conversation. That it's also okay that we don't have an outcome-like formulated behavioral change, but that we say, can we in some way measure the experience? Another point is imagination, which I think, this is a photo of the Occupy movement. I think it's about imagining a different kind of reality. So as Nishan says in his paper, we often tend to look at revolutions or resistance. So it's basically always one of either. But we don't look at, okay, what kind of other reality, which is maybe something we haven't experienced yet, is also possible. Maybe we should go back to the Greeks and see how they do it and try something completely different. The ancient Greeks, that is. Which I guess is what Occupy was trying to do. Like, okay, what if we try something else? And other people outside were saying, like, hey, but you guys don't do anything. You're just sitting there and talking forever. But the talking was a new way of living, so they could imagine this new way. One thing I find really interesting is the concept of playfulness. This is a friend of mine who's reading the palm of a traffic light. And the conclusion is that he will have the same job his entire life. I like the idea. We were all talking about kind of serious, heavy issues. We were fighting for rights, but instead, if we want to look at behavioral change, which at least for me is what it's about, what can we do with playfulness? How can things be fun? I think the former mayor of Bogota, Antanas Mockus, did a very good job using mimes so clowns to arrange the traffic. And I think people actually started changing their behavior, because suddenly the street was a fun place. It was a friendly place. So basically I'm hoping that especially this term we can bring into the conversation.